Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, featuring your jittery host, Locarthemanbeast, and also featuring me, Lobster.
What's up, man?
I don't know that whiskey was a good idea.
No. I mean...
You know when you have like the sip and it, like you get that like instant heartburn? Feels like your body's like, why are you doing this to me?
Depends on the whiskey, I guess.
Yeah, it could be.
What are you drinking?
It's Bullet.
Bullet has become... Bullet, I felt like...
I don't even like Bullet. I don't know why I have Bullet.
I felt like when Bullet first came out and we started drinking it, I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It's like such a good bourbon. And I think rose tinted glasses maybe a little bit, but as I started drinking it more and more, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like the economy bourbon.
That's like, hey, I don't drink Jim Beam.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
right. Because I started drinking Makers and I was like, oh, that's not bad. And like going
I was
back,
a big Makers fan for a while.
Going back from Makers into Bullet, I was like, oh, this is why I don't drink Bullet anymore.
Four Roses.
Yeah, Four Roses is not bad. I don't know, man. I just cannot.
Widow Jane.
Is that the one that has a hint of, what was it, cinnamon and potpourri or some shit like that?
Something like that. I don't even remember what it tastes like, to be honest.
Oh, there was like, he said it was orange and like earthy or something. I don't remember what the fuck it was. That was for the 100th? Is that what that was? Yeah. I think it's still sitting out there. I haven't touched it since.
Oh, it is. Because I was like, let's break out that gun shit. Like last time we were there, I grabbed the bottle, I looked around, I was like, never mind. And just like ran it back.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just can't do dark liquors anymore. I don't drink beer. Like I rarely drink anyway, but I don't drink beer. No seltzers, no ciders. Like I don't drink any like dark liquor anymore. I barely have bourbon. I barely touch my scotch. Scotch is like the breakout nice occasion things. Like I had a nice dinner. I'm gonna have a glass of scotch, you know. I'm just sitting around fucking around. It's just clear liquids, tequila or vodka.
I feel like I'm listening to Kelsey Grammer talk about fucking sparkling wines right now.
I'm telling you, man. It's the only thing that doesn't make me feel like shit the next day.
Yeah.
I drink like bourbon or rum or, you know, scotch.
All that shit with all the sugary stuff.
Yeah, man. What's
the
darker it gets, the worse I feel in the morning.
Yeah. That's why I had to stop drinking Hennessy.
Just walking around with 2 bottles of it at parties, man.
Oh, man. Last time I drank Hennessy, I think the Cavaliers won the NBA Finals. And I got it. And there's like a meme going around. It was like all the shots that J.R. Smith hit, but instead of like on the court, like just markers, it was just Hennessy bottles. And so I bought like a handle of Hennessy. And I was like, this is for J.R. Smith. I'm not stopping until I'm done drinking this. That was the most miserable I've ever been. But then I woke up the next day and J.R. Smith was like sleeping in the streets of Cleveland holding a Hennessy bottle. I was like, oh, worth it.
I fucking read your shirt. Drinking Hennessy.
Eating ass.
Drinking Hennessy is fine if you drink it like you're supposed to drink cognac. It's like When you just
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you sit and sip. You sit and sip. Everything is sit and sip. I think that's a thing from the party kids that we forget, is that most alcohol is designed to be sat and sat. Sat and sat? Sips?
Sat and sipped.
You can tell it's been a long fucking week, man.
Dude,
This is your Monday morning, by the way. This is our Friday evening. Good Lord. But yeah, most alcohol is supposed to be, you're just supposed to sit down and sip at it and drink it in a casual sense. That's the design for it, right? But when you're a degenerate.
But when you partied with Trevor and you drank drinks called Trevor's,
You kind of, you forget that that's because okay, here's the thing. I drank. I'm sure everyone else drank because I drank the way that I did, but
you forced it upon us.
I understand that. I understand.
And I drink.
I understand. But you're drinking for the effect, not for the social gathering. As we've gotten older, I drink for the social gathering. I sit down, I'll have a couple glasses, and then I'm
still drinking for the effect.
Well, that's
especially when I'm around you.
I know. Well, and that's why I cut back on my drinking so much.
I think that just makes it worse.
It does.
Because then when I do get to just fucking
let go
banana hammock with you, it's like, all right, let's do this all in 20 minutes. Like, there's no oh,
liver just goes on red alert. Like, bro, no.
No, yeah. Almost every night of the week. Like, if I tie one on like a Friday, like I drink a little.
Yeah.
But when I'm around you, fucking.
That goes out of what did your mom say? I'm just scared for you guys.
Yeah, I'm so scared for both of you. It's like, Mom, we're adults now. I know, but you're fucking idiots.
She's not wrong.
No, she's not. I was like, valid point.
Yeah.
Keep crying.
Yeah, it's been what?
We're gonna ride a motorcycle too tonight.
Oh my God. Brad, how long have we been friends? 2007.
Yeah.
God damn. Almost coming up. Not close, but 20 years. That's fucking gross.
Our 20-year reunion.
Dude, we will have a 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
We'll go parking lot pimping at Safeway in Placerville.
We were the fucking shit back in high school. No, not even in high school. Out of high school.
Yeah, out of high school. Oh my God. Oh man. So how's your week been?
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. That's all I can say.
So bad is that's a tiering scale. So bad is like, I lost my foot to a meat grinder. Like, that's pretty bad.
I've recently, in the last few days, gotten very comfortable telling full-blown doctors that they're idiots.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, just like, I don't care anymore. I've been like actively telling people, like people that come down, they're like, man, like we really appreciate like the hard work you do. Like you really come in and you get shit done. I was like, enjoy it, because I'm so ready to be out of here. And they're like, what do you mean? Where are you going? I was like, I have other stuff lined up. Like, I'm just being very nice to like my coworkers. I do not care about this place. The people I work with immediately, I want them to be like well set up when I leave.
Sure.
And that's the only reason you guys still have me. And people are like, and like after I say, when you say it, you're like, that might have been a little too far. Every time I'm talking, it kind of feels like that.
Oh no, baby, that's the only way I know how to talk at work. There's like, I've got the nice me, but most of my shit is just as direct to the point as I can potentially get, because I hate the beat around the bush conversations. Oh, well, if we thought about it like this, you know what I mean? Like, that shit it's so above my pay grade to give a shit about. Like, there's no HR in my company, right? Like,
I don't get paid by the hour for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, my favorite thing is just telling people point blank. So, okay. So the Davis property. Long live the Davis property. I've got a bunch of stuff, laid out for quite some time that they need to pay since January time. And I'm like, okay, well, guys, you've gotten rid of us. You've stopped all the stuff. You've let us go. We're fine with that. And realistically, like, per our contracts, they say you need to give us at least 30 days or you pay these additional fees per contract. We didn't charge them the additional fees. We even cut it down like, okay, well, we normally charge you a month. You let us go at this point. We give you 3 weeks. Like, we're doing this in an idea of trying to keep good business in good faith, not trying to start wars. It's not our point. I talked to the property manager at the time, and so I'm like, okay, so we're ready to go. Like, you guys ready to pay us? Like, we're out. We have all of our invoices. And he's like, yeah, we got all the invoices. But they're not going to pay one of the patio cleans. Like, they're just not going to pay it. And I'm like, it's not really.
They are.
That's not how that works. He's like, yeah, no, they just said that they were under the assumption that it was free and that we're not going to do it. The reason why they're under the assumption that it's free is because I told them, they were like, well, we want to do, I think we talked about this. We want to do quarterly patio cleans. And I was like, no, sorry. We only do them at one point in the year. It's not part of the contract. We just help you out. So in their head, it was, well, they do it for free every year. So they're not going to charge us if we have them do it in March. No, because that's why they waited to get rid of us, was because we were in the process of doing patio cleans and they thought they were free. Because if they knew that they were going to have to be charged for them, they would have gotten rid of us a fucking month ago, or a couple months ago, right? So I'm like, you guys are idiots. Don't play this fucking game. I don't have time for this. So anyway, I'm like, okay, so you're not gonna pay. Fine, no big deal. I wrote an email out to the regional manager, and it's a pretty nice email, and I'm like, okay, I got this information. It says, Lavelle said that you guys didn't want to pay your bills. We can't do that. This is where it's at. Just so you know, they are due in full. Get in touch with me. I'm willing to negotiate some things out. I'm willing to work some things out. If you're worried about maybe money or funding or stuff like that, we can talk about it. Like, it's not the end of the day just because you let us go. We're willing to continue to bend over a little bit. Just let us know. No response. Send another email. Hey guys, still haven't heard from you. I really want to get this addressed. I want to get this taken care of. Please reach out to me. I am all open ears right now. I want to make sure. Nothing. So I think it was Monday. I just wrote an email. I said, okay, I've done it as business professional as possible. You are receiving every single invoice that I've sent past due with late fees. I said the 10% per industry standard. Each one of them will come in. I said, if I do not receive payment in full for every single invoice by Friday, I will be sending the property management and ownership a mechanical lien for the property. That's all I said. The bottom end of that, I said, I'm still all ears. And then I just put my phone number. That's all I said. Fucking within 2 hours, because I was like, I'm going to lien you and the owners. Instantly, they were like, oh my God, we didn't see this email, blah, 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 blah. Like, and then
what about the other one?
Every 2 or 3 hours later, and like the next day, like Tuesday and Wednesday, both, like, hey, we double checked everything's in the system. Oh, hey, those, yeah, you fucking pieces of shit. I don't know if you think that we're just some Home Depot workers or some bullshit like that, but this is a legit company. And I have the coolest thing about being in the general contracting side of it is I have all of this stuff set up in prior. I've got our brokers, our lawyers, all of this extra stuff. So all I did was just send all my paperwork to the lawyers. Our lawyer was like, yeah, I got it all. Put it all together, put a mechanical lien in, and then just forwarded them an email and was like, this has not gone into effect, but it's here and ready to go. And they've just been like, oh, we're going to make sure that everything gets paid. It's like, you fucking pieces of shit. And that's just my favorite part. I don't have to fight people. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that because I've got everything set up for me to protect us as the company. It's like, you guys can just do whatever you want, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, we pay these guys to do this. You can talk to them.
Yeah.
I was trying to be cool about it.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah.
This guy fucking Steve, pretty sure he beats his wife. You don't want to fuck with Steve.
My lawyer is like, I don't know if he is just bored, but anytime we're like, hey, we need to start a lawsuit, he is just full tilt. He's like, how much you want to take? How much are they worth? I don't know, man. Just do your job. He's like, all right, I'll see if I can get all of it. It's like, and then
that's the kind of lawyer you want.
He comes back and he's like, fuck me. And I was like, what's the matter? He's like, well, I tried to take the whole company. We're trying to take the whole thing, but we may only be able to get like 10% of this. It's like, I just want my bills paid. Like, just have them pay their bills. Like, we don't need to take. He's like, no. We got to hit them for this. We got to hit them for all the legal fees. We got to take them
They
for
have kids. They have
yeah.
pets.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God,
You want to buy him a dog? We can buy him a dog and kill it after 2 weeks.
That's why and you are right. It's like I try and tell people, it's like, you do not want to get the lawyers involved. Like, it's like, for both of our sake. That guy scares me. He scares me. Like, I don't want to deal with him.
I feel like a bad person when I let him do his job.
Whenever I'm like, oh man, we got to contact the lawyer, I just see my boss pacing back and forth like, fuck God, we got to call him. It's like, I don't know. We don't have any other options.
It's fucking open a trunk. The lawyer comes out in a gimp suit. Oh, let's take him for everything. We got fucking.
It's a God. What was that movie where they had like the feral guy or whatever, and he was like locked? God, for some reason, Waterworld keeps coming to my mind, but I don't think it's Waterworld. Oh, I don't know. It'll come to me later. Just that's what I imagine. Imagine letting people loose like that, and that's why I think lawyers are like. Because his whole thing is like, I got to get paid too. It's like, well, how much do you want to get paid? It's like, I want all of it.
Well, yeah, if he gets a percentage, he obviously wants
exactly
the most he could possibly get.
Lawyers are fucking scary, man. So,
yeah.
Yep. But it's all right, man. Are you going to take the traveling job? Or like, I know you've already taken it, but are you going to go? Like, I know you were talking about
eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this to write out.
Well, I was just more because now that you're starting to tell doctors off, that's like the comfortable point because you know you can. Oh, you know.
No, yeah. Oh no, it's kind of that thing. It's like, all right, well, like I already have like my backup lined up, and I told him, I was like, I'm gonna make a point. Every physician's assistant, every nurse practitioner, every doctor that I think isn't doing their job correctly, I'm going to let them know, and I'm going to tell them, because like it's my job at what I do, not just to save lives, but like we use evidence-based medicine. That's my field. So you can't just look at a guy who's hurt and be like, you know what? Let's do both of his legs. That's not how it works. Pick a body part. Do you want the joint? Do you want the long bone? What do you need out of it? You can't just say I want both legs, especially not when both legs and both hips is the equivalent of $32,000.
Right.
And it's either getting charged to Medi-Cal and reimbursed, or trying to get charged and not getting charged at all, or it's just going straight to the patient, whatever insurance doesn't cover.
Sure.
So shitty. Second of all, if I have nothing to do, I really don't care about it. Sucks for the person in there, but if they're willing to go through 4 hours of scans, I'll do it.
Sure.
Like, I think it's stupid, but if I have 4 hours worth of scans blocked out and then a stroke comes in or somebody flies it in from another facility and needs help, but I'm busy with that, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And MRIs aren't that pleasant for most people. So then I'm taking somebody who's already in pain, making them lay in an uncomfortable position for 4 hours. Like, there's just like a myriad of things. And that's why they have X-rays and CTs and stuff, things that are faster. So you can make a decision saying like, you know what? I looked at the X-ray and I don't see any obvious lesions or things that would imply like a bone infection. So
Sure.
I'm not looking for osteomyelitis within both full legs. And those can be done like that.
Sure.
But MRIs take a lot more time.
Now,
So like with all of this in mind, any single time somebody, or today I can't walk in a straight line very well, like on a patient that came down. I was all, who ordered this? And they're all, oh, Betsy did. And I was like, where's Betsy? And I walked over. I was like, why are we doing this? I'm just curious. And she's like, she can't walk in a straight line very well. I was like, she's 87 years old, so she can't walk in a straight line very well, and that's why you ordered it as a stat? And she's like, well, I mean, there's concern for a stroke. I was like, but I looked at the CT and the CT says negative, right? She's like, well, yeah. And I was like, and there's nothing else that indicates it? And she goes, no, but we want to cover our bases. Like, okay, but that's it? She's like, yeah. And I was like, so we don't mark those as stat or urgent. That becomes a routine at that point. I'll do it as stat because I'm not doing anything right now. But like, just for the future, all of these things aren't adding up to stat. Have a nice day. And then like, got the patient, super nice to the patient the whole time, nice to the nurse,
sure,
not any of their fucking problems.
Yeah, sure.
But the people that are making the orders that are putting them in that have been either trained wrong
Sure.
or never taught.
Okay,
Oh, I'm going to make it my job now.
Or is it also a situation that you're capturing so much more MRI work that now they're just trying to soak money? Like, is that more or less like the issue? Because like, okay, I'm trying to imagine when I went in for MRI, my doctor, like I've got Kaiser. They have a whole fucking section of the Kaiser office I go to that is just MRI machines, right? Like I don't have to go anywhere. They got trailers outside, the whole thing, but it's like, it's a whole setup. So my doctor the entire time was like, you know, we went through months and months and months, and I was like, you know, very localized to a point. Like I knew where the pain was and trying to explain to him. And he was like, I can't find anything anywhere else. The only thing else we can do is MRI at this point, so we can really like narrow it down, because everything else we've done has not been able to narrow it down. Like, yes, we know it's localized in this section, but it could be like 10 different things in this one section. We can't see that until we do MRI. But my doctor was also like,
oh,
it's not really necessary. Like, you're not, even if we get the MRI, like, unless it is something like over the top, it's not going to be something that's going to be the miracle cure. We're not going to see the MRI and be like, oh my God, now we have our answer. This is how it's going to go. And sure enough, it was exactly. No, but you do. It's very, very obvious, especially after I got the MRI and he was like, yeah, that's exactly what we thought it was. Like,
but you never know.
Yeah, but you don't know.
You can't
don't
count
know
it
if you're
out,
not going to get hit by
see.
a bus walking across the street either.
Yeah. But it's the same principle as people going to physical therapy and trying to work stuff without knowing what the soft tissue damage is.
So why are you bitching if fucking doctors are ordering for people to get MRIs?
Oh no, I'm bitching because when they market as stat and urgent
just
on things that don't need to be stat and urgent,
schedule it out.
Places they can schedule as much as they want.
Gotcha.
I don't even complain about all the things they've been told to, because we have such an influx of outpatients. They've been told, why are you ordering bilateral shoulders on a patient? That's something that can be done scheduled as an outpatient.
Right.
Probably because they make more money.
Yeah.
But also because that's not the reason that they're there. They're there to get care for something specific.
Right. And that's why I'm thinking,
I don't care if they order that dumb shit.
See, that's why
they can order that and I'll still fill my day with
That's why I think it's sliding more into the idea of like capturing as much money when you look at it like a business side of things, because
they make more money on the outpatient.
Oh, do they? Well, yeah, because but like even still, like I had to change my insurance to get an MRI because it was going to cost me $4,000 up front out of my own pocket, not including what it was going to get taken out of insurance. I increased my insurance like $200 extra a month. It cost me my copay, and then all the rest of it was taken care of by insurance. It's like, holy like it's a lot of fun. It's like what, $9,000 for a it's like 8 or 9 grand. Not
billing
maybe not,
rate,
maybe not
billing rate to be reimbursed for insurance.
Non-insurance, like
is
not insurance.
Not insurance.
Just paid.
If you were to go to, I don't know where the fuck you were going. Most places will do somewhere between 600 to 1,000 cash pay if you cash pay.
Oh yeah. That as an outpatient.
Now, if
I went to Kaiser.
If you have a deductible and you are going with your insurance, what they bill the insurance company, or what they would bill like Medi-Cal or Medicare, where they reimburse from the state, generally starts between 4,500 and like 5,200, and then if you add contrast, it goes up from there.
Right. So what I'm saying is that Kaiser, as a business and a hospital and everything, was going to charge $8,000 for an MRI.
Better be a really nice MRI.
I have no idea. That's all it was. It was $4,000 for me up front, not before insurance took over, and insurance would have taken over the last 4,500 or some bullshit like that. And I was like, there's no
Pfizer, baby. That's why they pay so good.
That's what I'm saying. They make money. And so I can see that as a business, them just sucking as much money as possible out of every person. Because if they're just going to capture it from the insurance company,
they're making more off outpatients than they are inpatients. Especially, they had like a big thing with like partnership and like different insurance companies that are generally like for like retirees or people that can't afford it, because so many hospitals were just butt fucking the state left and right for reimbursements. Like, oh, we needed to schedule 5 MRIs on them. You have to pay us the $25,000 or something like that. They started putting a cap on like if somebody comes in through the ER or if they're admitted for like X, Y, and Z. It's like, really, after one MRI, all their diagnostic, what they're getting reimbursed for is spent.
Yeah.
So everything else, the state's going to be like, well, like, why'd you order it?
Yeah.
Unless it's absolutely necessary. So trying to cut back a lot on that.
Interesting.
Medical fields are ragged, man.
It is, dude. It's that in the churches.
Yeah.
Swear to you, everybody needs medical, and people with faith.
And everyone needs a pastor with a private jet.
Oh man. Yeah, it's all right. It's the world we live in, dude. I see everybody survive the eclipse.
Yeah. No.
Well, not everybody.
The amount of people that like got like eye damage from that is staggering. I can't believe I bought these 99-cent gas station eclipse glasses. What happened?
Lowe's had a sign up that basically said, "We will not be returning any welding masks purchased on this date." This is so fucking amazing. It's like if you Google search like eye pain or whatever, it was like you just see like a staggering line and then whoop. It's like, you fucking turds.
Oh, wait, the videos of people like looking up and then going like this and then putting the glasses on, like there's so many. You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay, now at the same point in time, I can get that because I did it a couple times too. I also don't stare directly at the sun, but I also don't like look at the sun often enough to be like, you know, hurt myself in any way. But I also don't wear glasses when I drive, shit like that. But like I looked up to see if I could started to see shadows or anything like that. Right? So like I'm not gonna wear those stupid fucking glasses 24. I also didn't see the eclipse at all. I mean, us in California,
where we are, we barely see any of it.
But like I just kind of like glanced up to see it or whatever. So I can imagine if people are sitting there staring and be like, "Can I see it yet?" It's like, okay, yeah, well, you're gonna have eye problems, you know. There's supposed to be a bunch of earthquakes that happened afterwards.
A bunch of earthquakes happened afterwards?
No, there was supposed to be. There was like some paralleled thing to like back in 1811. There was a full solar eclipse and then followed by a comet and then a bunch of earthquakes. And I guess this eclipse that we just had is on the same.
I'm waiting for everything weird to happen,
dude. That's
they fired up the CERN fucking collider.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's been
why they had to pair it with the solar eclipse,
bro.
Don't like that,
bro. Right? Like someone's got to. This is the only time the doorway can be opened.
And okay, CERN collider. And I just saw this thing about an asteroid the size of Texas that hit off of the western coast of Africa. And like they're showing like the weather patterns and stuff, and they see it hit and then disappear. And then like I was deep in this thread while I was scanning this guy, and it's talking like this and this were all there, and then all of a sudden these two were gone. So was it two impacts at once that just made the full registration on the thing? And then this is where it gets weird. People start arguing back and forth. They're like, no, if you look at this data and you look at this data, and then somebody's like, I think somebody ran a simulation, but it took over the active radars. Like things are the simulation is overlapping itself on things.
We're breaking down, man. We're breaking down.
Weird.
Because no one's controlling it. No one's got the leash. You know what I mean? To pull back a little bit. They're just letting it go full rein. You got the Illuminati just running the show. Did you see the video of like bunch of was it council members or someone in Congress like out of Texas or something like praying and chanting in the middle of their like fucking like you see like the US Congress logo in the middle of like the floor and they're just like all on the ground like praying and chanting and stuff like that before like they did some fucking like thing. It was like, whoa, woo, we're not even hiding it anymore.
Hey.
What?
Moment of silence.
For
the juice.
Ow.
May he rest in peace, finally knowing that his wife's killer has been caught.
Justice!
Didn't he say, I have trouble sleeping at night knowing that my wife's killer is still running around out there? Sleep
didn't
well.
Didn't he have an interview like 5 or 6 years ago where he almost slipped up and said some shit?
He released a book titled "If I Did It."
Yeah, that
and
was
then highlighted the entire like. Well, I don't know. If I would have cut her head off, I would have, and just like, and then just proceed to describe everything.
Yeah. Well, double jeopardy. They can never really try him again for it. You know. Oh,
as long as he doesn't actually admit it.
As long as he never admits it. That's exactly right.
I'm still waiting for like a note, just like a note that says like, ha, I did it.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, he seems like that fucking guy.
Just like one of those old, like, photo reel like things that we used to have, like canisters of photos, and someone just pulls it out and it's him like, fuck.
Oh my god.
I mean, he was going for a while though. He had it was a prostate. He had prostate cancer. Yeah, he had prostate cancer. So it had gone downhill a couple years ago, I think is what it was. So that's weird to think about. That's a time frame that I don't think that's like explaining living through 9/11 to people of this upcoming generation. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the maintenance guys at the Spoke, he just turned
us. We were like kids. I remember my mom be like, "Oh my god," and like making me watch it. I had no clue what was going on.
I had no clue anything was going on. I remember watching it live, the chase. Okay, the Bronco, everything, and then I remember
the Bronco doing like 35 on the freeway with a fucking parade of cars just not trying to stop him.
Exactly. And then I remember like the 6 months to a year afterwards, where it was just every channel, every night, the news just like following the trial every single night, and I was just like, I don't understand why this is so important. I remember the glove, him like, doesn't fit,
and you could see him like put his hand in and then like I can't get it on. Fuck.
Oh man, but explaining that to someone is like, I don't know. I can't. That's a hard concept to try and explain to a generation.
I remember thinking that he just stabbed her to death.
I thought so too. I did not realize.
I realized he cut her fucking head off. Jesus.
People do some weird shit, man.
That's not even that weird anymore.
It's not.
You hear about that like every day.
Yeah, that's Florida, man. You know, that's a Tuesday. But you're right. Back then, that was also another weird thing about it too, is that information wasn't so easily available. You know what I mean? Like we were dependent upon newspapers and like TV at 6, you know what I mean, to like catch our news and understand things, which is like really weird because like I don't think we realized how much of the propaganda has like really existed at that point in time, because news media was king. That was how anyone heard of anything.
News was the news.
News was the news, yeah. And now it's a whole nother. Well, it may be the same beast. I think we can just see the different heads of it now. Yeah. But man, I remember going to school and people talking about it, and I was just like, "What in the fuck?" And like as a kid too, people would be like, "OJ killed that woman." It's like, do I not drink orange juice anymore? Like,
hey, let us not forget that he was an all-time great running back.
He was.
God damn.
Yeah.
The Heisman actually posted a thing today yesterday on Twitter saying we feel sorry for we're mourning for the loss of our 1968 Heisman Trophy winner. And everybody's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like, how could you say that?
Well, because he's not guilty. Proven in a court of law.
Hey, Heisman got to abide by those rules.
Man, I mean, kudos. If they witch hunted him just because, you know, cancel culture, I mean, they'd be doing a disservice to the trophy itself. Like Diddy, boy. Like Diddy. Till proven guilty.
Diddy guilty.
How do you know? Although, did you hear that video? Who was it? God. Somebody. I'll have to find it. But some dude was like, you know, he's like, I went to this party, like one of Diddy's parties or whatever. He's like,
oh, I'll see. This is the thing.
The phone recording. Did you hear that one?
Oh no.
So
I was gonna say everybody wants to get their piece in now that like they're like, oh, I was there and I saw this. You can't like, but a recording. I'll listen to a recording.
So he goes, I'll have to find it. I can't remember who it was. But the whole time he's like, everybody's drinking. He's like, I don't drink. I only smoke. So I didn't drink any of their shit. He's like, and people were smoking, but I had brought my own shit. I was smoking my own shit. He's like, so at a certain point in the night, everything kind of.
Machine Gun Kelly?
No, it was somebody else. He's like
Machine Gun Kelly had a weird story.
No, it wasn't Machine Gun Kelly. It was like one of the old school rappers. He's like, did he went in the room with a bunch of people or whatever? He's like, and I was like trying to listen up. He's like, so I recorded it on my phone through the door, and that's what you hear. He's like, yeah, it was weird. I should have left, but I was also like, nah, I'm gonna get some dirt on this fucking guy, and so that way, nothing, he can't ever come mad at me. And now that this is all up, I'll put it loose because it ain't my business anymore. And it's just fucking Diddy pounded the shit out of some dude. You just hear this guy like, oh, fuck my ass.
Oh, man.
Wild, man. And then, like, then you start to see things with, like, Usher and, like, Bieber and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, man, it all kind of... At the same time that, like, this Nickelodeon thing came out and all that, it's like, oh man, it all feels so gross, dude. It's hard to watch. It's gross.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly was on an interview, and this is like a long time ago when he was like still like rapping, and he's like, man, I had to like get on this flight, but like I wanted to like smoke some weed, and Diddy's all, just take a couple hits of this. I took a couple hits, and then I took one more big one, and next thing you know, like they had me in like a fucking like a Speedo, and I was just doing these weird dance moves, but they were all cheering me on, and it was all kind of like a blur. It was way before any of this shit, so it's not like he's like trying to like get on top of it. All sorts of weird shit like that, like old interviews with like when him and like Diddy and Mace were like having like their like falling out, and they're like, Diddy's gonna do a gospel album. He's like, how can you be a gospel album? RuPaul do a gospel album? like shit like that people said that probably got dismissed.
Right.
Now you're looking back, you're like, oh.
Well, someone posted, I saw something on Reddit and was like, this did not age well. And it's like, it's just Diddy being like, you ever had a Jeffrey? And he's just like rubbing the furry wall. It's like, oh, that's gross. That's a mind fuck.
God damn.
Oh, the world is falling apart around us.
Yeah. It always was.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Just a little more attuned to it.
I'm glad I unplugged from the Matrix and I'm watching it. I just don't think I'm going to be able to escape it.
Nah,
and if you can't escape,
cipher me.
Yeah, if you can't escape it, man, might as well join them. If Illuminati, if you're watching this, send us an email. I'm ready to join. What I gotta do? Slaughter a couple people? Light work.
I'm part of the resistance.
Oh, I bet you are. Dude.
Been watching Fallout?
I did. I watched first 4 episodes, something like that. Very good show.
So much better than I was ready for. I was not expecting a lot. It being just like a video game adaptation.
Yes.
That instantly just makes me like,
well, so right off the bat,
be Amazon.
That was another big like question for it. I think it was also one of those things where I think after The Last of Us, TV shows with video games have to like really hit a certain mark now. I feel like they've got to be not just true to the games themselves, but true to their audience. And I think that's why Halo's such trash. I think Halo's such trash because
Halo's fucking bad, dude.
It's bad. But I think Halo is trash because I don't think that show is made for the gamer. If you watch it and you see it, it's not made for the gamer. It's that everybody knew Halo. Halo's a household 2000s name. And so now there's a TV show about it. So everybody that didn't know Master Chief and the whole storyline can now watch a TV show and feel like they're involved. Where if you watch Fallout is an ambiguous game. You can do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's an overarching story, but most of the time you're fucking off blowing up rad roaches. You know what I mean? So this is a cool adaptation of this. And because it's done with Bethesda Gaming, in the back. I guess Todd Howard sat there the entire time as they wrote this entire thing out. Todd Howard was like, you have to take that out. And they're like, why? He's like, because that's going to be like an active plot for the next Fallout game. Like, I can't have you have that. Like multiple times. So like the writers of the show was like, Todd Howard was like adamant about like, you cannot say that, you cannot have that happen, you can't do that. And they're like, well, what if we did this? This is a really cool idea, we want to do this and this. And he's like, that's a brilliant idea, unfortunately that's already in this thing, you cannot do that, you cannot do that. So the whole show is its own unique idea with help from
I finished it. It's good.
So, and I think that's the cool thing about it, because that's the thing about Todd Howard, man. Like, they may be producing dog shit ass games, but their stories are usually pretty damn good. And Todd Howard has a vision, and you know, I respect the dude.
Tell you what,
it just works.
His name? Walton Goggins.
Mm-hmm.
God, he just fucking, does he miss? I don't know one project that he doesn't just fucking kill.
God, he's so good. He's so good. I mean,
so good, man. The first 6 minutes of episode 1, like we haven't even hit like opening trailers, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like,
is it your thumb or my thumb? I was like,
oh yeah,
dude.
I know. And then just like him writing the fucking cosign and watching all the
and the last one, yeah, and then it was just, and there's a whole aesthetic and feel and setting of everything. It started to give off the Wasteland vibe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it hit that, like, at least for me, by episode 4, it's at that point where it's like, this feels like a Fallout game. And it's really cool to see
the aesthetic, like the old timey, like kind of like retro 50s, but with like futuristic tech and stuff.
The fact that the soundtrack is basically New Vegas in 3, I was like, good. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, not only just that, but it's like, I don't know if you've really noticed it or not, or if it's really hit you, but like, what's her name? Lucy, for the first like 3 episodes, was the only clean thing in the entire world, because it's trying to like show that vault tech, like, oh, her backpack is like crisp and fucking, you know, like very vibrant and everything.
Then all of a sudden she stands out when she hits the first town and everybody's called her out by it. And no, it's really well done.
Very well done. The T60 power armor looks dope. I thought it was going to be a little bit less like goofy, but I don't know what else you could do with that. Like, it's got all this fucking power, but like he was like swinging it, like it's like, and I was like,
yeah, that part. And they'll, without ruining it, they'll kind of get into that.
Yeah.
But
it's a T60.
It did seem a little lacking.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad, though. The whole Brotherhood of Steel thing is really fucking cool. Like, anybody that's played the games, like, you know, you either love them or hate them, you know, and that's that feel that comes with it, you know, and that guy who plays that character, not a big fan of him, but I like where his head's at. You know what I mean? So it's like, woohoo, you sip that Kool-Aid, buddy. You know,
it grows on you.
It's a cool show. I respect it. I can't wait to finish it. I don't say that very often. I don't watch TV shows. I'm watching this one.
Yeah. I cannot believe that Shogun is not going to have a second season.
I mean, I get it. I know.
Is that a spoiler?
No.
I didn't think it was a spoiler either. No. But like, you know, when somebody says something, you're like, ooh, you backpedal and you kind of look at it. I sat there and I probably like typed, deleted, thought about it, typed, deleted. I was like, I don't know if I actually spoiled anything.
Well, then it's regardless if it spoils it or not, right? Like, in that aspect, the thing is like, if it's a single season show, it's nice to know that it's a single season show. It means I can watch it whenever and not feel left out.
Like you have to catch up.
Exactly. I can binge it and do whatever and pick it up whenever I feel like it, and not feel the need to rush to catch up to be part of the grouping of everyone else. Fuck them. You know what is a spoiler? Vader's Luke's father.
killed my father. No, I am your father.
Man. God, I wish Star Wars wasn't trash. Oh, all right, let's finally talk about video games, huh?
Talked about Fallout.
Yeah, we
that's
did.
Good.
That's good enough. Are you going to pick up the new Star Wars game? Star Wars
No,
Outlaw?
I don't think so.
August?
I don't think so.
Is that when it comes out? August?
Yeah. I don't think so. You know, Asmongold ruined it for me. I think if I didn't watch Asmongold video on it, I probably might have.
I didn't see it, so.
But he was watching it, and like he got through like the whole thing, and he's like, first off, let me start by saying I must not be the target audience. But Star Wars games without lightsabers is just bullshit. Why would I like there's other universes that are more cohesive, that build backgrounds better, that do it better if you want a game that you're just like a regular person running around. Like there's games out there where you can explore space and you can be part of like a space cartel. Like if I want Star Wars, I want to be a Jedi. I want to fucking make me a good Jedi, make me a bad Jedi, make me somewhere in the middle, but still make me a Jedi. I want to be a badass with force powers. And he said that, and I was like, oh, he's kind of right.
Yeah. And that's I think I said that in the text message was like, it's the company that did the Division 2. So it's just going to be the Division set in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. And when I first sent the text, I didn't know anything about the game. I just knew that it was called Star Wars Outlaws. And there was like a $70 package, a $99 package, and a $120 package. So I was just trying to like hint at that, being like, wow, this is fucking ridiculous. But now that I see that it's like, I guess like Jedi Survivor, but flipped on the end, that you are just like a street rat who's kind of caught up in like the underworld of Star Wars, it seems a lot less. I don't even think like nostalgia shouldn't play a huge factor, because it's not sticking to like the story. It's creating its own new character and new story to kind of fit within it.
So it kind of, you kind of brush the point of like, not everyone who's involved with the Star Wars universe has to be involved with the Jedi or the Sith, right? And I think that there's two really big points that play well into that. Is that Mandalorian, right? Yeah, there was like Jedi elements and stuff, but Mandalorian and Andor are two great fucking pieces of the Star Wars universe that show.
They're shows though.
Well, right. What I'm saying is when you go back to the video games,
Rogue One might be one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's amazing.
Because it's just like the common guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it took a break from it. But would I want to play Rogue One as a video game?
I don't know. If it was, I just don't feel like playing Division in Star Wars universe. I think that's my issue. If it was more cohesive, like, okay, SWTOR, the Knights of the, or not Knights of the Old Republic, but Star Wars Old Republic, the online MMO, they have a storyline for the bounty hunters. That's probably the coolest, most well-written Star Wars like story I have like played through or been a part of story-wise since like maybe I read like Timothy Zahn books like when we were in high school. It was so fucking cool and so smart. It was just really, really interesting. And then not only that, but like then the Sith side of it, the Inquisitor or whatever the hell it was, I can't remember what it was, another fucking just brilliant storyline. And it was very low-key, did not use Jedi powers and stuff like that. And it was like, that's cool, man. That's really fucking cool. Like I enjoyed that. Now, were there still Jedi and shit around? Totally understandable. Would Star Wars Outlaws be fucking dope if you are the common guy and at one point like you're in a battle and turn and look and there's Jedi fighting off to the side? Like you still get the glimpse of that little bit of like the universe that you're in and you're like, oh fuck, that would be so cool. But then you go about your business continuing to be whatever the hell you're going to be. I think it could be cool. I just don't want to play the Division.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like in that respect, if they were to make like a Star Wars game that was kind of similar to that, why couldn't they make like an RPG that's within the Star Wars universe where you are like a newly found force sensitive person and you get to choose. Like, do you want to go light? Do you want to be like middle of the road, like the Gray Jedi, or do you want to be like the Sith?
Because it's been done 1,000 times. You've got Knights of the Old Republic.
You've new and better.
Yeah, but it's also the thing that's like it is kind of overplayed to the point where if I saw another Jedi game, I may not necessarily be as excited about it. If there was like, okay, here's a perfect example of a game that came out for the Star Wars universe that had very high potential and we were all about it. EA's Squadrons. We played Squadrons and then that thing tanked the fucking hell out.
It felt like you were still playing on like Nintendo 64.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But I was like,
no, yeah, no.
All space battles. All space battles. Dope, dude. Let's go. Flying in space and fighting people. And it was just, it was bad.
What was that game on N64 where you could be on Hoth? Oh, the original Battlefront, huh?
Battlefront 1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I think it was
had to be the original.
1, yeah.
Where you'd fucking anchor the legs and you'd spin around. That's what Squadron felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like I was still playing that. It's like, we haven't changed anything. Like, you know, the graphics are better, but
Squadrons definitely felt like they took the space battles from Battlefield 2, the most recent one, and just made its own game out of it.
Yeah.
But that also had all of its issues as well. And they didn't like buff anything up. They didn't and it was so boring. After a certain point, it was like,
it's like Harry Potter having Quidditch in a Harry Potter game and then deciding just to take the Quidditch and make a whole Quidditch game.
Yeah.
Fucking hacks.
Oh man. There's a lot of just missed opportunities that always sound super unique. Star Wars, I also think, I also feel like ever since Disney's got a hold of Star Wars, it's just like
they're really beating the shit out of that horse.
I do like Mandalorian. The Book of Fett was trash, and Andor was good, but it was fine. I didn't watch Ahsoka. I just don't care about Star Wars anymore.
Ahsoka was very meh.
Everything about Star Wars just feels meh. The coolest thing about these sequels that came out, or the new sequels or whatever, the storyline I was so invested in was the Knights of Ren. Like there was a comic that had come out for Knights of Ren and all this stuff, and it was like how
and they addressed none of it.
Fucking skipped over it, dude. You had 90 minutes of a goddamn casino scene and skipped the whole fucking Knights of Ren storyline. Oh my god.
His helmet's basically the Easter egg that alludes to it. That's it.
It was so stupid. It's so stupid because there was also this point where it's like, if you looked at the Knights of Ren stuff, like the comic was really cool. It's like each of the knights like had to go and hunt for these artifacts and shit. Like this is like old school artifacts, and that's what their helms were made out of, and like this whole thing. The only time you saw the Knights of Ren twice. You saw them one in a flashback scene, and you saw them when they were walking Kylo to the fucking to wherever he was when he took his he threw his fucking lightsaber out in the ocean. Oh God. And they just cheese dick that character so bad. The first movie, he gets shot in the gut and he's out in the snow and he's just punching his gut and he's like, let's go. And then the fight, like one of his last words he says, he like hops off of something and like after he's like, I'm turning back to the light, like jumps off of something, slams his body into the thing he's like jumping onto. He goes, oh, ouch. And it's like, get me the fuck out of this movie theater. So bad, dude.
I also feel like Adam Driver is just the worst choice.
I
like Adam Driver. I just don't think that was right for him.
Oh man, it's tough because part of me is like, I
really like Adam Driver. Don't get me wrong.
Well, his character.
I just think, how the fuck are you going to contain that nose behind that helmet?
Oh yeah,
that helmet can't have that shape.
Exactly.
And you can't tell me he took the helmet off for the first time, and you're like, that's the face.
I think his like Adam Driver in general for that character, whatever. I can bypass all that. I think his delivery of the character was like, I understand it was supposed to be like angry toddler. But I think he leaned into angry toddler way too much. And it was like, you are kind of a Sith, dude. Like, think of like Anakin Sith. Like, he was like an angry toddler as well. But he also killed a bunch of children. So, like, pick a level, bro. Him just like smashing a computer. And it's like, oh, you tantrum.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do Star Wars anymore. I can't do it.
Sometimes I think that and then they release something, and I'm like, I'm still gonna watch it. I think they have me hooked for life. Even when I recognize where I'm like, this is gonna be bad, I still watch it. I'm just,
yeah.
It sucks watching the things you love just get addicted to heroin and suck dick on the corner for $12. I miss you.
Well,
Justine.
hold on. Get addicted to heroin, suck dick, and you keep paying them the $12 to get your dick sucked by them. Like, that's the problem.
She said it's different when it's with me.
Oh man. I want things to die in peace. Like Cliff keeps sending the things out like, oh, it's the 25th anniversary of some movie. They're going to come back to theaters or whatever. It's like, that's cool.
Star Wars.
Yeah. And like part of me is like, it is kind of cool to see the time gap and for us to catch up to a point where it's like, it's been 25 years. You know what I mean? And for that to like hit and it's like, oh man, I do remember seeing that as a kid and all.
Well, and it's so different to see it in theaters. Like there's movies when they come, there's a lot of movies that I'll just say like, I'll just wait till it comes to, because inevitably a lot of these like theater releases are within like 2 weeks going to like a HBO Max or something like that. So there's a lot of things where I'm like, I don't care about seeing that in theaters, but then there's movies where I know I'm like, I have to see this in theaters to get that experience. And then there's sometimes that you watch it and you're like, God, this would have been great. Like John Wick 4. Ooh.
That was good. That was good in theater.
There's certain ones where it's just like the big screen, the environment, even just like the people next to you, like just like, oh, all giggling when like something fucking crazy happens.
It is the ambiance of like the theater
and ambiance. Yeah.
I agree to that. But a movie that I've seen 100 fucking times, if not more.
My problem, especially on Star Wars, is if people start like clapping and cheering and doing that shit that you know that they probably are going to do, I'll fucking fight someone in the theater.
Well, that's what it's going to be. There's going to be people that scream. I guarantee you'll hear people. It's going to be like a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Storm's coming, Annie. Like everybody.
I'd rather have that. I'd rather have your picture just throwing shit. Everybody's cross dressing. I have no clue what's going on.
People are on stage
at 3:00 in San Francisco.
God damn, that guy. You know what tonight is, right? Yeah. We're all dressed up in hella nice clothes to go to like a hip hop club, and he's like, all right, man. We paid money to go in.
We paid money, and you walked down the hallway singing the intro song.
Yeah, I was like, this is a fucking weird thing. And I'm like singing, and then he's like, I didn't realize
singing it, and I was like, what the fuck?
There's people fucking transvestites just walking past us. And I'm like, oh, this is a weird club.
I knew nothing about it. That's how fucked up I was. I was just going down this hallway. I come out, and I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, expect like a hip hop dance club. I didn't even like really paying attention to the music. I thought the music was weird, but I thought it was just like the hallway music or something like that. And I just come out and just shit's being thrown on stage. There's big fucking fat dudes in lingerie and fucking leather fucking cop hats and shit. I was like, what the fuck? And like I turn, I look back, and you just come around the horror like, oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show. That makes sense. I was singing the song. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Man, that was a... Do we have that girl from Sweden with us too? Or was it like Norway or whatever? Switzerland, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
Yeah, the whole time she was just like, I'm like, I'm dancing, I'm singing. I remember I was just like, oh, this
is her gay friend, right?
Yeah, and her gay friend. What's his name? Fucking whatever. But I just remember
I don't know.
We were dancing. I was singing the songs and stuff. I was like, this is awesome. I'm fucked up. And I remember turning and looking at you, and you were just like, you just mouthed, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, we should probably go.
I got sober real quick. I had no clue what was going on. I thought we were coming to dance. I was wearing Tuesday shoes.
I was wearing Tuesday shoes. We were dressed to the nines, man. I was like, let's go.
Oh, man.
And then it all made sense. As we're walking out, the guy was like, I told you. I was like, yeah. No, I got it now, dude. The only club that I could find that was like, oh, it's going to be hip hop, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Were we 21 at that point? I don't even think we were 21 at that point. because we hadn't gone to Vegas yet. There's no way, because David wasn't living with me. Guaranteed. We weren't even 21. That's why we went to that club, because it was 18 and over. It was on Folsom Street or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive we weren't even 21 yet. That's why we went out. Because we had the bottle. We had the bottle of oh God. Like trying to remember this. This wasn't Party Cups. Oh, it was Party Cups weekend. It was Party Cups weekend. We were not 21.
I think I might have been 21.
You may have been 21.
Because I didn't have a license, remember?
I came to pick you up for that weekend.
Yeah.
And then I drove you down. You came down with a MacBook.
Yeah, so I was 21.
We had Disaronno in the trunk. We're sipping Disaronno all night. Oh, God, dude. Ugh.
Fucking kill me now.
Smoking cigarettes. Just
God.
deep.
I was
deep
watching The
pupils
Matrix.
like this.
I was watching The Matrix
Uh-huh.
while I was making food and eating. And it got to the scene of like the Oracle, when the Oracle's smoking a cigarette, talking to Neo. God, I miss fucking cigarettes. Oh.
I have one every now and again. It's like, oh God, that it's like these just don't.
No.
They I don't know if they just keep the oral fixation going, but they don't hit on the same way. When you hit a cigarette,
No, not at all.
and like you can feel the fucking toxins hit your lungs. It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, that was death, baby. Like that's your head gets a little fuzzy.
See, but 5 minutes after my first puff, I'm like, why did I do that? My mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I hate my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I hate everything.
I got like bottles of Listerine and I wash my hands immediately after. Like it's the only way I can do it, because I'm just like, I hate tasting and smelling like a fucking ashtray. All right, we'll wrap this up. It's getting tired.
We hit a wall.
Yeah, so, like early Monday for you guys.
Feel like an ashtray.
And I'm
Just
dead.
5 seconds of silence
Yeah.
for OJ Simpson again. And we're done.
All right, let's get out of
All right,
here.
kids. Enjoy your fucking week.
Enjoy your week. Stay safe. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.